Hello Aquarius, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here with your July 2025 general reading. We're looking at the first half of July. This reading is for you, the air sign of Aquarius. If you enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe and share if you feel so inclined. If the reading resonates with you particularly or hits home with you particularly and you'd like to maybe take a deeper look at something in your own personal life, or you simply like the reading style. If you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself, or perhaps as a gift for someone else, you can email me for more information, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video below to see that information as well. I'd love to hear from you. I can usually get back to you quickly, same day or 24 hours. I do offer lots of different readings in all areas of life: love and romance, relationship compatibility, career, work, finance, investment, 6 and 12-month overviews. There's a lot to choose from. And I'm quite diligent about the timely scheduling of personal readings, so if you're interested, email me. Okay. Aquarius, let's see what the first half of July 2025 looks like for you. If you know any of your other signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, your sign placements, watch those videos as well for any additional insight or perspective. So Aquarius, we begin with Judgment. Judgment is a tricky card. It's kind of standing at the crossroads. The time has come to be held accountable for your actions. It typically represents that there is a probably pretty significant, profound choice in front of you, and the consequences of it will be far-reaching and long-lasting, if not permanent, so choose carefully. Sometimes judgment is looked at as a second chance. So if the choice before you, or the choices before you, represent a decision you didn't make before, you may want to reconsider making it now, because typically the outcome is long-lasting or permanent of judgment, which means that for good or bad, the consequences of the choice you make here will be lasting. If you choose to move forward in a new way, make a different decision, your life path will change. If you choose not, if you choose to stay in the same whatever cycle, job, relationship, whatever, and if you choose to make change, that change will occur and put you in a new direction. If you choose not to make change, change may happen anyway, but in a way that you don't want, right? But it's kind of set in stone after judgment, because there's no real overturning of that, because judgment really represents being held accountable, that we have to own our own choices and actions. We're held accountable for that. So it's a pretty significant choice card. And it's going to make a significant difference in your life one way or the other. We have the Hermit. This is the energy of learning and growth and wisdom. Somebody who's already walked quite a long path of life already, and this is somebody who's taken into account everything that they've learned, and they use the wisdom that they've gained from their life experiences, good, bad, everything in between. They use that to help them navigate the road ahead. Ideally, having learned from mistakes they made in the past, not repeating those mistakes moving forward. I mean, the light on top of his staff, or in some decks, it depicts him crossing a mountain path with a lantern. The light is symbolic for his wisdom, or her wisdom, and that wisdom has been gleaned by everything they've already gone through, and they use that to see the way ahead so they can navigate ahead better than they used to. Right? So it's a card of insight and awareness and wisdom that comes from experience to navigate your way through this decision. It's almost an implication. The Hermit, I feel, sometimes has a link with the High Priestess as well. It's about kind of taking a step back and getting quiet with yourself and asking yourself, what is my experience, my wisdom, and my intuition telling me is the right way to move forward here? And I always feel there's a little bit of an implication here. It implies that maybe underneath your surface thoughts or fears and insecurities, you already know what the right path is. The Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords represents somebody who's kind of like a victim of themselves, a victim of your own ideas, a victim of your own belief systems and patterns. Because Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs this, our intellectual landscape, belief systems, thoughts, ideologies, perspectives. So this is somebody who's in a situation which perhaps is not their ideal situation, but they tell themselves they're stuck and that they can't get out because the challenges that they would face are too great. And so they give themselves all kinds of reasons and excuses for why they can't do the thing, or why they can't make this choice, or why they can't take this path of action, because I would have to do this and it's too hard and I don't want to, or this would happen or that would happen, all these bad things would happen, so I can't, so I'm stuck. You're not. And it's not, you can free yourself whenever you want. We always have the decision to choose a different path. And I'm not invalidating the path, leaving a situation or walking or trying to change perhaps a very old ideology or belief system in our head can be difficult and challenging. You may be facing challenges in moving forward and making this significant momentous decision with judgment here. There may be challenges to it or moving parts to it, but you are capable of doing it. Your crowning energy, the overall theme and focus for the first half of July is the Two of Cups, the soulmate, kindred spirit, kinship card. So this is about a union. This is about a partnership that has a pretty strong karmic connection to it. Meaning that karmically connected people, whether they're romantic or friends or otherwise, the karmic thread that connects to people like this it's always for our growth and development as a human being, right? Now, sometimes these Two of Cup people connections physically stay with us for long periods of time or for the rest of our lives. Sometimes they don't. But the lessons we learn, the growth we achieve because of the connection with this person or the tie with this person, that is lifelong. But growth and progress and awareness, it's not always easy, right? Soulmate connection is not always the walk in the park, but it is ultimately very rewarding. We learn so much and we grow so much from it, ideally anyway. So let's take a look at that Two of Cups. The Fool. Considering moving forward in a whole new way, a brand new way, a new cycle. The Fool is the very first major arcana card, the 0 card. It's all about, which means that we had the World card before that, because the World card is the last major arcana card where a significant cycle or chapter, graduation has occurred, right? And so now we're beginning a whole new chapter, a whole new cycle, stepping out of the unknown, taking a chance, not knowing precisely what's going to happen, getting out of our comfort zone. It might feel a little risky. We have the Three of Cups and the Knight of Wands. It feels like, it looks like you or your partner, I mean, it doesn't have to be love and romance. It can be a different kind of partnership. It could be like a best friend kind of thing, or a combination of both. But it does look like your friends, your family, and your community would be in great support of this moving forward and would rejoice and think that you should do it sooner rather than later. It may be like moving in together. It could be getting married. Moving, relocating, taking a big trip. Although it's a significant enough decision with Judgment and the Fool here that it's likely not a trip unless that trip is about moving and relocating, right? It feels like a step up in the relationship, or like getting married, something like that. It represents making a choice that's going to mean a significant, profound change in a relationship and in the path that relationship takes. Let's take a look at Judgment here. Ace of Cups, Temperance, and that Eight of Swords again. Boy, the keeping yourself stuck is kind of a strong energy here. Trying to shift, adapt, and adjust. Trying to find your balance in the midst of this. Ace of Cups. Could be new love and romance for some of you, or emotional renewal in an already existing situation. It feels like, look, it feels like this feels like a relationship which has grown stagnant because it got stuck somewhere, and it's time for that relationship to either move forward or split apart. And there's a lot of fear here, and fear is typically based on previous bad experiences we've had. Maybe one person in this connection was married or had that kind of serious commitment, and it ended painfully, horribly, or something. They never wanted to go through it again. Maybe they swore they'd never do it again. But here is something else in front of them, and it's kind of like this feels like somebody who's at war with themselves. You know, they want to. They have this hope. You know, they have this love, they have this desire, they have this hope. But yet there's still all these reasons, excuses, and justifications, and it's kind of like trying to keep your balance in the midst of this. It feels like a battle with oneself. Let's take a look at the Hermit. Our wise old hermit here. The Hermit could also represent somebody else for you, Aquarius. Somebody who's wise, somebody whose experience and wisdom and opinion and advice you value greatly. Could be getting advice, seeking out advice to somebody you view this way. Yeah, the Lovers. Got the Two of Cups and the Lovers. The Lovers represents a crossroads. Choices need to be made. A course of action needs to be taken. A decision. It's either about a relationship, where it goes, if you split apart, if you stay together, and if you move forward, how. Or it's a decision in another area of life, but one that would significantly impact a relationship. The Four of Wands, one of the happy homes, stability, marriage, celebratory energies. I mean, it just feels like marriage for a lot of you. I usually try to look at the cards and open up to Spirit's messages from a variety of different angles or areas of life in a general reading, right? But sometimes, like this, the energy is really heavily skewed towards relationship, towards marriage, towards, community, maybe moving and relocating is part of that as well. But there's fear here, the Tower and the Devil. It's like, again, this feels like somebody who's at war with themselves. I want to, and yet pain from the past is trying to keep you in this cycle keep you stuck in a cycle of fear and doubt and insecurity because that's defensive energy, and that's what you felt you needed to do in the past, and it's worked well for you. It served you well. But no longer. It may actually end up costing you or losing someone because of it, right? So again, there's this kind of fighting, going back and forth with yourself, seeking out advice, trying to sort it out here. Eight of Swords. The Hermit again. You may want to seek out advice and guidance from somebody who's older, somebody whose experience and wisdom and advice and judgment and guidance you respect. Not somebody that you think is going to tell you what your fears want to hear, but somebody who will tell you the truth, someone that you respect. The World and the Nine of Pentacles. Some of what you might feel, or the person that you're dealing with might be feeling, is, oh my gosh, if I make this commitment, then the end of doing what I want, whenever I want, however I want, without answering to anybody is over. Yes, that may be true, because that wouldn't be a healthy mentality to maintain in a relationship. But the rewards balance it out, right? And I feel like part of your fear is that You think it's going to take something away from you in terms of independence or free will. And I think that fear is that devil, the energy of the devil card is magnifying those fears and actually making them very radical and extreme to what it actually would be in a real loving, healthy relationship. So I would take it with a grain of salt. All right, any final messages, guidance, advice from Spirit? Two of Cups again with the Seven of Cups. It's time to focus on the possibility and potential of this partnership and this union. Try and focus on you know, what the joys and the beauties can be, the beauty of it as well, what it could be, right? Not always on the negative, which is based on previous past experiences. Wheel of Fortune and Six of Swords, straight up, God, Spirit, universe, guides are providing an opportunity for you and a partner to be on a healing path, because I think this relationship is stuck, this partnership is stuck, and if it doesn't move forward, it's going to end. That's what it feels like here. The Star with the Six of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune it's kind of like Spirit's way of saying, look, I'm giving you a gift, the opportunity to see what it's like when it's real and healthy and loving, two people actually working together and loving each other and building a life together, not what your experiences have been in the past. Here is an opportunity to see what it's really supposed to be like. And then almost a little bit of a warning here with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is winning at all costs. Yep, you've won, and it's cost you a relationship or these relationships, but you've kept your, I don't know, your independence or whatever, right? This represents winning at all costs, but it could be a hollow victory, right? Yes, you've won, but you've also lost, and it typically has negative consequences. They may not show up for a while, but yeah, so a little bit of a cautionary energy here, because the underlying question to the Five of Swords is it really going to be worth it? Because here, I've won, but he's also lost. So is it really much of a victory? All right, I'm going to leave it there. Aquarius, those are your messages for the first half of July 2025. Now, for those of you for whom this reading made sense and resonated and hit home, I hope it was helpful. It gave you something to think about. If it did, and you'd like to explore something in your own personal life a little deeper, you like the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description below to see that as well. I would be delighted to hear from you. I will see you all in a little while. Be safe, be well, be blessed. Hope to see you back here again quite soon. Bye-bye.